After Senator fires off his grilling questions, Pompeo hurls them in the ice chest by US4Trump.com. On Wednesday, senators held a Foreign Relations Committee hearing on Capitol Hill about President Trump's private meeting with Vladimir Putin in Helsinki, Finland. Secretary of State Michael Pompeo was on absolute fire after being questioned from the panel's top Democrats. I just want to add, we're interviewing what Donald Trump did behind closed doors with Putin to discuss whatever they wanted to discuss. You see the Democrats, how they move and pounce on everything? But I'm just going to tell you guys, you got to see this clip. And Pompeo gives it to him real good. And I'm so happy. And it says on the bottom here, do you think Senator Mendez has Trump derangement syndrome? They all have Trump derangement syndrome. Anyone that is standing on there that's a Democrat has Trump. There are rhinos in the Republican Party. But take a listen here.
When the president meets alone with President Putin, it allows the Kremlin-sponsored state media and the Russian Ministry of Defense to provide more information, at least from their perspective, not only to the American people, but sometimes it seems to the members of the president's own cabinet. So I'd like to ask you some questions to get to understand what actually happened. Has the president told you what he and President Putin discussed in their 2-hour closed-door meeting in Helsinki?
And why should he?
You can put your microphone on.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. The presidents have a prerogative to choose who's in meetings or not. I'm confident you've had private one-on-one meetings in your life as well. You've chosen that setting as the most efficient way.
I just asked you a simple question. Did you?
I
you can't eat up my 7 minutes,
answer,
Mr. Secretary. Did he tell you whether or not what happened in those 2 hours?
Yes, Senator.
Yeah, you're going to get the same business, actually, that we got from the Democrats and the DOJ and the Rosenstein and Strzok. And you deserve much worse than what Pompeo is giving you right now. But wait till you hear at the end. He gives it to him good.
Predicate of your question implied some notion that there was something improper about having a one-on-one meeting. I completely disagree with the premise of the question.
I didn't ask you a predicate. I asked you a simple question. I hope we're going to get through it. Did he tell you what transpired in the 2-hour meeting?
I've had a number of conversations with President Trump about what transpired in the meeting. I was also present when he and President Putin both gave us a sense of what they discussed in the meeting that followed immediately after.
Did you have?
I've also had the chance to speak with Sergei Lavrov twice about the Russian view on what takes place. I think I have a pretty complete understanding of what took place.
Did you speak to the translator who was at that meeting?
No, I haven't.
Have you seen any of her notes?
Senator, I've been in lots of meetings. I've had lots of note takers and lots of translators. I've never relied on the work that they did.
Did the
for me to
president
understand
discuss?
what took place in that meeting, and it does not need to be
Did the
done
president
here,
discuss?
and won't be.
Did the president discuss
And it won't be,
relaxing
he said.
U.S. Sanctions on Russia, including CAATSA sanctions?
Senator, the U.S. policy with respect to sanctions remains completely unchanged.
So the president did not. Is what you're telling me that I asked a very specific question.
Yes,
did
Senator,
the president tell you that he
answer.
discussed relaxing Russia sanctions or not? Yes or no?
Senator, presidents are entitled to have private meetings. I'm telling you what U.S. policy is. I came here today.
No, but you told me that
Yeah.
he had a conversation
That's
with
right.
you in which he told you what transpired. I think the nation and so all of us who are policy makers deserve to know so that we can fashion policy accordingly. Did he
Senator,
tell the Putin that I'll release or ultimately relax sanctions?
Senator, what you need to conduct your role, your appropriate role, I will provide you today. That is United States policy with respect to the issues you request. You asked me about U.S. policy with respect to sanctions, and I can confirm to you that no commitment has been made to change those policies in any way.
Did the president at this meeting call upon President Putin to withdraw from Crimea and eastern Ukraine?
Senator, I began my statement today with the United States government's policy.
I understand the
with respect to
declaration. I
Crimea.
welcome it. I'm glad that it seems like we had to do a lot of effort to get there. But the question is, when he had a chance Did he confront Putin and say, we don't recognize your annexation of Crimea, we don't recognize your continuing hostilities in eastern Ukraine, and there's consequences for that?
Sam, the president was very clear with Vladimir Putin about U.S. positions. They're the U.S. positions that are the Trump administration's positions, and he spoke about them very firmly and clearly when he met with Vladimir Putin.
And that, he told you that?
Senator.
There are consequences. We're going to put you on the front line, mister, since you're all hot under the collar about Putin. We're going to send them to the front line since there are consequences. For you, maybe, because we'll put you on the front line and let you deal with them. Huh?
I'm telling you what he had a conversation with Vladimir Putin about, and I'm telling you what U.S. policy is today. I understand, Senator, I understand the game that you're playing.
No, Mr. Secretary, with all due respect, I don't appreciate you characterizing my questions.
Yeah,
my
'cause
questions
you're
is to get to the
garbage.
truth. We don't know what the truth is.
Oh, you
and the
do.
only way that we will know what the truth is, what transpired in those 2 hours, in a highly amazing period of time to spend alone, one-on-one, is by understanding at least that if you were briefed by the president, what he told you. I don't think that's unfair to know, to understand what policy is. Let me ask you.
He's getting a little hot under the collar, right? You see? But when we're given the runaround by Rosenstein and Strzok and all of them, we're supposed to take it, right? Yeah. Now it's time, and you know what the difference is? That whatever we're doing, the Republicans are doing, what President Trump is doing is for the good of the country. Whatever these Democrat lunatics are doing is for the detriment of the country. You see what I'm saying? No, how about, you know something? Anybody that wants a confrontation with Russia, you put them first on the front line, then we see how big their mouth is going to be. There's going to be consequences. Huh? There's going to be consequences. Let's see if there's going to be consequences if you're going to go to the front.
Did the president say they were going to change our force structure in Syria?
Why should they
Senator,
tell you, you
presidents
idiot?
are permitted to have conversations with their cabinet members that aren't repeated in public. I owe the president the capacity for him to have conversations with him, provide him the best foreign policy advice that I can. It's what I was.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Secretary.
So,
here's something you can answer for me,
Great.
because you're not going to answer any of the questions that would get us to the truth. As CIA director, you stated in an interview with the BBC that you fully expect Russia to continue its attacks on our democracy by attempting to interfere in our midterm elections as we speak. In his conversation with Putin, I hope the president laid out the consequences of interference in the 2018 election, but I know you can't tell me that, so you're not.
Actually, I can't.
Oh, then you want to share that one with me?
I can't. No, I can't.
That one you want to share with me?
No, Senator, I can tell you that because the president has disclosed that.
Okay.
The president disclosed what he said
Give
to
it to
Vladimir
him,
Putin
Pompeo.
about Russian interference in our elections, and he said that he is confident that as a result of that conversation, Vladimir understands that it won't be tolerated.
I wish he had said that in public in Helsinki. Let me ask you this. Senator Gray and I and others are working on a new bill to hold Russia accountable. Given that you assert the administration is tough on Russia, will you commit to working with us on a new Russia sanctions bill?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You know, they're playing dirty against Russia. And, anyway, Trump and Putin have it under control. These Democrats are finished. They're finished. They are finished. It's a done deal. What election, you morons, for Hillary Clinton, the decrepit crook? That's what meddling and interfering in the elections for a witch that you can't even tape together to stay in one piece, that has the life alert necklace on her? Are you kidding me? And you want that representing us? And besides the point of her crookedness, she's falling apart. I mean, how these people are being paid, who's paying their salary? We're paying their salary to have these criminals trying to destroy this country. I mean, it is, sometimes you just get so aggravated when they're trying to push Russia. They're trying to push and push and push. Listen, don't. You may just get your answer, and you know what? Let's tell Russia, that these are the people that want a confrontation with you, not us, right? That's all. Since they're Hillary's out there, Russia, Russia, Russia. The mainstream media, Russia, Russia, Russia. This guy Mendez, this, I mean, sometimes you just like reach your breaking point with these people. You just reach your breaking point. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.